Things are getting crazy in the NFC West, but the moves, they're not done. Let's talk about what some of the NFL experts are saying about the Seahawks and what they need to do to keep up with the Rams now that the Rams have just gone buck wild and added Myles Garrett. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Seahawks Digest, the show that kind of was scrolling on Shefty's tweets yesterday doing the Matthew McConaughey meme, this one, it's real when you got Myles Garrett joining the Rams and now Aaron Donald potentially talking about coming out of retirement and all of that, totaling up to be like, okay, as always, it's hard winning any NFL game, but it's when the NFC West is turning into Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. There's going to potentially be some conversations about the Seahawks needing to add more firepower to counter what Los Angeles is doing. So I want to talk about that on this episode. If you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribing and in that direction, you might as well like, dislike, comment, share. All of those things are other buttons available to you. If not, as I always say, no worries. I will be here all season long to bring you guys headlines and reactions to things like this, how the Seahawks can keep up with the Rams after the Myles Garrett trade. This article kind of breaks it down into a best, middle, and worst option. I want to go for, what do you guys want? Worst or best first? Best or worst first? Worst or best first? Let's get the worst ones out of the way, and then we'll come back to finishing with, I think, the best ones. Least likely option, an option that I am not interested in, is TJ Watt. You can already see the caption here. This is where things get risky, although in case of risk, should come with less trade capital. Watt would be maybe the cheapest option, but I think is also, like they said, he's injury prone. He has been injured and is probably on the decline. As we go through all these options, drop a comment with which of these is your favorite, or if you do or don't like any of the. I like hearing from you guys in general. You help me see and understand the Seahawks game a lot better because you see football from different ways. But TJ Watt, like, name brand edition, but I think ranks, for me, number 3 in terms of all of the options presented in this article. The second one, because Mr. Producer, we're gonna just blow by that one. Brian Burns from the New York Giants. Younger guy, contract situation is different, injury situation different, production is different. The rationale behind here is kind of interesting. Is just talking about how they've got a lot of edge rushers in New York, but the line in there in the middle about his acquisition predates Harbaugh. I just find it so interesting how in the NFL you can have things change so quickly and dramatically from head coach to head coach. And you, in the world of analytics and number-driven consumption and production, you would think that a guy would be like 16 and a half sacks last season. Let's feature him heavily in our defense this year. But you switch a head coach, and it's a philosophy change, and it's a personality change, and it's just like, okay, maybe this isn't a guy that we are going to feature as heavily anymore. So kind of just throws out this weird esoteric, like, oh, well, he went from being a main feature in the Giants defense last year to somebody who could be pried away for the right price. Interesting. That's where it goes from, for me. Watt. Burns is the next one. And then finally, the number one choice brought up in this article, and one that I think is, I would be at least the most interested in it. I like his personality. I like his production. You saw him at the beginning of this video, and that's Maxx Crosby. We know the Raiders are interested in trading him. Was he already traded this offseason? Maybe sort of metaphorically was already traded this offseason. He's back. I don't see the Raiders making some massive push this offseason into next season to be like Super Bowl favorites. So I would see this being something that a deal could be. I think a deal could get done here. I think that this could be something where for a decent enough price, we could add in, Crosby's a weapon. No matter what you want to say about his health or his ability to color within the lines, personality-wise, or anything like that, he seems like a guy whose bottom line is ball and who wants to win and has the personality, swagger, and charisma needed to be a featured part of a larger, successful program. And that's what the Seahawks are right now. The numbers for the financial side of it all, I think, are kind of in the Raiders or in the Seahawks' favors. Apologies for the flub there. Here's the contract numbers. Sometimes this can all get a little dry, but with, let's call it $30 million. It's like $29,999, like the kind of price wise that the Seahawks have available still in cap space this year. It could just be an outright, they absorb all of the money and take him. That's not going to be what I would assume the final deal would be, but it's not something where it's out of the realm of any possibility whatsoever. Like, this is not a Madden needing to quickly go in the back and, we're not using console commands to expand the available finances here. Like, this is doable. This is, maybe it's not doable in terms of the Raiders' internal asks for all of this. That is unclear as to what the price tag would be in terms of what they want. But I think it's doable. I think it's gettable. I'm curious what you guys would be willing to part with in exchange for Maxx Crosby, in exchange for any of these guys. Would be curious. But the Maxx Crosby one specifically, to me, feels like a splash where a couple of draft picks, sprinkle in somebody non-critical from the defensive side, and let's make this happen. It's always, look, I said at the beginning, it's always tough winning any games in the NFL, but now it's going to be increasingly tough to keep up with the Joneses, if you will, if the Rams are really seeming to go all in on this season in a way that, maybe the answer really is to counter with more offense and bigger spending on the offensive end, but it kind of feels like pound for pound, punch for punch, defense wins championships, and that's what I want to see the Seahawks add just a little bit more of. Just top it off with one more big piece like this. Maybe this wouldn't be maybe someone like Maxx Crosby wouldn't be a little bit. But you get what I'm saying. Drop a comment. Let me know. If you're already down there commenting, you might as well hit like, dislike, subscribe, share, all those buttons. Until next time, folks, we'll see you soon.